Hey everybody, Graz here with the long promised January wrap up. Sorry it took me so long. Um, that's okay. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick little reading update of where I'm at currently in the books that I'm reading. If there are noises behind the camera, by the way, behind the camera is AJ.
Hello.
And our puppy dog Logan. And if there are noises behind the camera, obviously it's Logan. If you hear like a constant shh shh shh, shh sound, the daughter is pacing in the basement. It's something she does. But anyway, so as of right now, I'm not going to go into the books that I finished for the month yet for February, but this is what I have currently open. I'm reading Straight Outta Deadwood, and I'm not going to be showing any books today. Maybe I will in future. I do and I don't. Whatever. But I'm reading Straight Outta Deadwood, which is like a Weird West thing. It's short stories. I've read 3 of them. 2 of them were one was decent. One was just there, and then one not really a fan of. But anyway, that's one thing I'm reading. The GKBC in its entirety is currently still reading The Colorado Kid. We have yet to do section 2 yet. I'm unsure if the daughter and I are still reading Jane Eyre together. I don't know where she's at. I know she was way behind, and it didn't look like she was enjoying it all that much. I'm still reading the book because I actually am enjoying it. So I'm still 140 pages through it. Kind of been waiting to see if she's going to catch up. I'm also doing the read along chapter a day challenge with Wicked Pluto. We're reading Don Quixote. And let me see real quick here. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Audrey, today is Saturday, right?
Yes, it is.
11, 12, 13. We're on day 14 of Don Quixote. So I haven't read my chapter today, but through the first 13, that was page 81 for me. And I am also tonight probably going to finish a 1975 book. It's titled Wife, and I'm not even going to try and tell you who it's by. I think the first name is Baharati or Barati. It's not a common name for me, so it's not very good. I mean, it kind of depends on if the author is male or female, honestly, and I'll explain that in the future if I ever get to talking about that. But that's what I am currently reading right now. Oh, also, I'm sorry, one more thing. This Tuesday will be the final Marvelous team up of Harrow County. That'll be fun. And then we're going to start a new book, which we will debut, or at least announce on Tuesday, or whenever we do the video, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. But that is what I'm currently reading. Now, for January, I read 9 books. Doesn't sound like much, and not for me anyway. But I was happy with it because I really didn't push myself. I just enjoyed everything. But I read 9 books, 4 of which were nonfiction, and 5 were fiction. I started a new process this year. Nonfiction, I'm not really going to rate. on Storygraph and Goodreads, they're all going to get 5 stars because I can't see, like one of these books, I'll just tell you, The Day Diana Died, which is basically the story is a quick recap, and then it's the last week of Princess Diana's life. How do you rate that? You know, how do you give a star rating or knock off points for somebody's dying days and then the day they died, and have it be realistic? You know, or not realistic, but like it's a true story. It's just easier to just read it, learn, and then move on, because I don't know. That's just how I'm going to look at it. If you have a different outlook on nonfiction, then let's talk about it. Leave me a comment. But anyway, so first off, in January, The Day Diana Died by Christopher Anderson, which was 270 pages. And it took me a little while to read because it gets graphic. And there are photographs. There's none of the bodies. Thank God. But still, there's one of the car, and it's sobering. Next up, I read a John Lennon graphic novel, which is basically, it tells John Lennon's story in almost like a childlike poetic style. It's really neat, and it's by Doreen Rappaport, and it was only 48 pages. Now, if anybody out there would like me to do a video where I page through that, let me know. I'd be glad to do that. And then there was The Beatles Songs by William J. Dowding, which I just did a video on a couple days ago where I went over some of the notes I took. And that was 300 pages. And that was pretty good. It was neat reading each of the, like, all the instrumentation and the writing credits and the opinions and stuff of all the songs. And the last nonfiction book I read was Barney Fife and Other Characters I Have Known, written by Don Knotts with a foreword by Andy Griffith. And that was 218 pages. And it wasn't quite as interesting as I expected it to be. I probably had it on a higher pedestal because I have literally watched the Andy Griffith Show my entire life. Not that it's been on TV my entire life, because, I was born after that was off the air. But I've watched it whenever it was on. And for a long time, when I would eat in front of the TV, I would watch Andy Griffith. I know most of the first 5 seasons pretty much by heart. But so I had Don Knotts and the character of Barney Fife up on a pedestal a little bit, and this is more of his real life, which I get that. But it's Don Knotts that's telling the story. It's not Barney Fife. So, like for instance, the first time that Don Knotts, see, I'm still trying to make him Barney. The first time that Don Knotts swears in his retellings shook me, because you forget that they're real people. You get this idea that they are the wholesome, good person that you see on the TV show, and you forget that they're real people with real problems. That sound is Logan the puppy chewing on one of his bones. It's one of those bones you buy at the store. We don't give him bones. We know that that's bad. But you kind of forget that it's not Barney Fife who's the person, it's Don Knotts, and he's going to swear, and he's going to smoke, and he's going to drink, and he's got a sex life. So that was kind of jarring. But anyway, that's the 4 nonfiction books that I read in January. The fiction books, I will bring them up to you by lowest rating on up. I only had one stinker, and it was a 1975 book. It's called The Minstrel Boy by A.J. Cronin, and it's 288 pages. And it was slow. It was kind of boring. I wasn't into it, really. It's basically, I'm not going to get into what these books are about. If you want to know what it is, what it's about, I will tell you. Let me know, and I can maybe even do a 1-minute review on it. But it got a 5.3 out of 10 on my scale. Next up was She'll Never Tell by Hunter Morgan, and that's 280 pages, and that was a read what you own shelf book. Yeah, 6.93 out of 10. Kind of above average, not bad. Then we had The Hiking Trip by Jenny Blackhurst, 295 pages. This was a gift, Christmas present from the daughter, and it got 8.23 out of 10. I genuinely liked it, and I will probably be looking into more of Jenny Blackhurst's books. So, number 2 is Searching for Caleb by Ann Tyler, 323 pages. Got an 8.41 out of 10, and that's a 1975 book. It was actually kind of a neat parallel for me, because I thought while reading it, I was thinking, wow, am I going to start the year again with this random, nobody's ever heard about 1975 book that's going to just jump to the top of my list and then stay there? Because last year, in 2023, that almost happened. Bert Breen's Barn I read in January, and it got beat out by the last book I finished last year, or the second to last book I finished last year. So, but anyway, so Searching for Caleb made it to 8.41 out of 10, which is my number 2 rated book of January. And number 1 is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. 457 pages in the version that I had, which was the first edition from 1938, and it was an 8.79 out of 10. What's to be said about Rebecca? I mean, wow. And that was for the reading list project that I'm doing with Kim at the Paper Traveler. I'm not sure who else is doing that. If you catch this on the tag and you're doing it as well, please let me know. Let Kim know. Because, and I'm not trying to be ego here, as far as I know right now, her and I are the only ones that are actually doing every book on the list. I know that there are some people who said they would jump in and out on certain books, but so if you're also doing every book, let us know, because these are some pretty good books. But anyway, that's the 9 books I read in January. Get out my calendar here. My month was 9 books, 2,610 pages, and that was an average of 84.2 pages per day. I know that's a lot lower than last year for me, when I averaged about 100 more. I was about 185 per day. That's why I said I just took my time. I'm not getting worked up over the numbers this year, because that really hurt me in the second half of last year. I was burned out. I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna read what I can, and I'm enjoying myself. And I've also spent a lot less money this year than last year, because I'm mainly sticking to the free 1975 books that are on the library app and the books I have on my shelf. Mainly, I do have to buy the reading list book each month. I had to buy the set of the Bronte books, and we did just do a little shopping at Barnes & Noble. Maybe at the end of the month, just in case I get any more, like jelly beans or something, I'll do a book haul. So, but that's what I read in January. and what I'm currently reading in February. Any of this sounds interesting? Let me know. I can get more in depth on anything. And yeah, just thanks for stopping by. And I guess until next time, read more.